David and Goliath, a tale of courage and faith. Samuel 17. First, subscribe and tell me your favorite Bible verse in the comments. In the days of King Saul, the Israelites were at war with the Philistines. The two armies camped on opposite sides of a valley, preparing for battle. Among the Philistines was a giant warrior named Goliath. He stood over 9 feet tall, wearing heavy armor and carrying a massive spear. Every day, Goliath would come forward and challenge the Israelites, mocking them and their God. Goliath's challenge was simple: choose a man to come down and fight me. If he wins, we will become your servants. But if I win, you will become our servants. For 40 days, Goliath taunted the Israelites, but no one dared to face him. The entire army, including King Saul, was terrified. In a nearby village, a young shepherd named David tended his father's sheep. David was the youngest of 8 brothers, and his 3 oldest brothers were in Saul's army. One day, David's father, Jesse, sent him to deliver food to his brothers and check on their well-being. When David arrived at the camp, he heard Goliath's taunts and saw the fear in the Israelites' eyes. David was outraged. "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" he asked. When word of David's boldness reached King Saul, he summoned the young shepherd. David said to Saul, "Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine, your servant will go and fight him." Saul replied, "You are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him, you are only a young man, and he has been a warrior from his youth." But David persisted. "Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." Seeing David's determination, Saul agreed and offered his own armor to David. But David, unaccustomed to the heavy armor, declined. Instead, he took his staff, chose 5 smooth stones from a stream, and put them in his shepherd's bag. With his sling in hand, David approached Goliath. As David drew near, Goliath looked him over and despised him, for he was only a boy. "Am I a dog, that you come at me with sticks?" Goliath roared. "Come here, and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals." David responded with unwavering faith. "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head. All those gathered here will know that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into our hands." As Goliath moved closer to attack, David ran quickly toward the battle line to meet him. Reaching into his bag, he took out a stone and slung it, striking Goliath on the forehead. The stone sank into his forehead, and Goliath fell face down on the ground. David ran and stood over him. He took hold of Goliath's sword, drew it from its sheath, and after killing him, he cut off his head with the sword. When the Philistines saw that their hero was dead, they turned and ran. The Israelites pursued them, achieving a great victory that day. This story showcases the power of faith and courage. Despite being young and seemingly outmatched, David's unwavering trust in God led him to triumph over the giant Goliath. It reminds us that with faith, even the most daunting challenges can be overcome.